If you're watching my videos because you want to see my score prediction, because you're thinking about I might know something, that I'm a good tipster or something, don't bother. Because after yesterday, it's clear that I know absolutely bugger all about football, and I couldn't predict a score if it fell on me. If you saw my preview video, you'll know that I've embarrassed myself by saying that I thought it was going to be 3-0. After a good point up at Man City, my expectation was this would be a good game for us to have next. Sandwiched between Man City and the scum, this would be a great game to build some confidence going into that game. Well, that didn't work out very well, did it? But let's be honest, right? If you're a Tottenham fan and you've been a Tottenham fan for a while, you kind of had a feeling in the gut of your stomach that something like this might just happen. Newcastle, 2 games in, 2 defeats, playing badly. They don't love the manager, they don't love the owner. Spent 40 million quid on an unknown. Bound to happen. Bound to happen. But for me, the most disappointing thing isn't the loss. Teams lose games, right? It happens. Every team will lose a game somewhere along the line. But for me, it was the manner of that defeat that hurts the most. There was absolutely no endeavour in that game from our point of view. There was no passion, there was no effort, there was no plan. Didn't seem like it anyway. It was almost like you were watching a team coasting at 3-0. Now you might see it different, but that's how I saw it. Sat in the seats there, looking down on that, I felt that it was a really poor game of football. Our players seemed disinterested for the majority of the time. Yeah, there were sparks, a little bit here, a little bit there. Danny Rose done his usual lots and lots of effort, but unfortunately didn't get us anywhere. Mora huffed and puffed, didn't get anywhere. Harry Winks pulling the strings in midfield. This way, this way, this way, this way, this way. But nothing of any substance. Newcastle had a plan. They're going to sit there. They're going to make it difficult. Tottenham don't play well against teams that park the bus. They know that. We know that. So they sit. And they sit. And they break it up. And they get in the way. But then when you're not making any real forward movement, then that's easy. If your team in front of you are passing it across the pitch, backwards and forwards, you're going to let them. You can give them 80% possession. But as Brendan Rodgers found out, possession doesn't win matches, doesn't give you points. So, where were we? So in the end, we had every attacking option available to us on the pitch at once. But we still got nowhere. I guess the other disappointing thing about it, or more worrying about it, is that our manager didn't seem to know what he wanted. He seemed quite disinterested to a certain extent. Like he's, resigned to the fact that that was what was going to happen. And I've read comments, and I haven't seen it for myself because I've been at work today, but that he said that the squad is very, very unsettled. And you can't help but think, how can it be? Why is it unsettled? What does it need to settle it? People say that Poch wasn't backed in the transfer market. We got all 4 players that he asked for. People can go on about Dybala as much as you like. Nobody see that coming. All of a sudden, the player was available. We went in for him. We didn't get him. He wasn't part of the plan. He wasn't on Poch's list of players to bring in. Ndombele was. Lo Celso was. Jack Clark was. Sessegnon was. So we've got those players. So where does this unsettled issue come from? Eriksen? Well, why is Eriksen unsettled? At the end of the day, he knows in January he can sign on a contract with somebody else. So what should that make him unsettled? Why should he be unsettled about it? In his mind, he must know what he wants to do. And if he knows he wants to go and that he's going to get a pre-agreement in January, why should that make you unsettled? I don't get it. Maybe it's me. Maybe I'm just dim. It's quite possible. So there does seem to be some kind of underlying issue there. And I'm just wondering whether this unsettled issue is coming from Pochettino himself, in the fact that he doesn't know what's going to happen with Eriksen, possibly Vertonghen, and maybe that's what's unsettling him. Maybe that's what's making him think, I don't know who to pick in the team. I don't know. Only he knows. And sometimes he talks in riddles. But this is the unhappiest I've seen him for a long time. It doesn't seem to be quite there. The same magic doesn't seem to be showing up at the moment. And that's a worry. Because like most Tottenham fans, if not all Tottenham fans, I love Pochettino. I think he's a really good manager. He's probably the 3rd best manager in the Premier League. And he deserves to be getting somewhere. But something needs to happen for him to feel that love, to feel that he's actually going in the right direction. But this was the plan all along, you know, get the new stadium, get into the Champions League regularly, build the squad in the right way, bring through some youth, mix it up with some good acquisitions, which we've got. So it should all be rosy in the garden. It just doesn't seem to be. But when all's said and done, it's a game of football. We lost, it happens, we move on to the next one. The next one happens to be one of the biggest ones of the season. But it's the next one. Beat the scum, all is forgiven, we're back on Happy Street. But just like to say one thing, whilst football is massively important to all of us, there are other things out there that are just as important. A friend of mine who was at the game yesterday, his dear old mum passed away that morning. Another guy who came with us had a bit of a funny turn and had to have the paramedics out to him. It's all about levels. Now fortunately, the guy who had the turn, he's good. It's great news. The guy whose mum passed away, it took his mind off it for the day. Gave him something else to think about. Spent some time with friends. Enjoyed their company. Had a beer, had a laugh, had a sing-song. And it's all about that, right? It's not just about the 90 minutes. The 90 minutes is important, but we spend the whole day doing it. I didn't get home till 11 o'clock last night from being out at 8:30 in the morning. just going football. But the overall day itself was a good day. I met up with some old school friends, and I also met up with Kerno Spurs. Kerno is Cornish for Cornwall, if you didn't know that. Great bunch of lads, travel all the way up from Cornwall, and I thought I travelled far from Dorset. They travel up from Cornwall. And I've told them, bring back your podcast, because they used to do a really good podcast, and they stopped doing it, which is a bit of a shame. So I've had a word, and hopefully they'll bring it back. But listen guys, let's not be too downhearted. Let's look forward, not back. Let's hope that whatever is troubling our beloved leader soon passes. The European transfer window closes next Monday, so hopefully that'll be the end of it till January. Onwards and upwards, onto the scum. 3 points there, we'll all be happy. Up the Spurs.